This is a post I've been meaning to make since I bought this back in May 2018. Since then there have been a few videos added to YouTube about this particular hedge trimmer, but I think I have something meaningful to add and build upon those videos that are already out there. So here I am unboxing my Husqvarna hedge trimmer. I get a little bit worried about the state of the actual blade part of the box, fearing that it might be bent, because you can see there are sort of kinks or tears in the box, but everything turns out fine. This particular deal, I paid almost £194, and it included a really good set of Husqvarna ear defenders and I think they might have been Husqvarna safety glasses. I did think the deal included gloves for some reason, but as it turns out I was wrong.
I confess I'm a bit worried about this. Just seen on the note there, which I thought was missing, the glasses are actually, says it's in with the hearing protectors. There we are. Nice. Pretty sure it said it had gloves, but I'll have to go back and check whether they're free gloves, but not sure. There it is. Just about to get it out. I don't think there's any. I was worried about that bend in the box. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I'll do this one-handed. Hold on. Right, so there it is out the box. Everything looks good. It seems to have sustained any damage in transit, but despite the box being a bit dirty. That was one of the reasons I bought it. It's a neat adjustment. Goodness. Anyone else come to inspect it? What do you think, Moggy? Let's have a look at the... Just pull off. Oh, yep. Phew. There's a blade. First impressions. It felt quite heavy in the box, but it's not too bad feeling it now. Oh, and this, what else came with it? Instructions, some kind of tool, and grease. Have a look through those instructions and there we go.
So just having a quick look on the website of the company that I bought this particular hedge trimmer from, they still have, they still supply this particular hedge trimmer, and it is £184, £10 cheaper almost than, well, £10 cheaper than what I paid. But that is strictly the hedge trimmer only. It does not include any ear defenders or safety glasses.
So I've read the instructions. They're fairly straightforward and concise and straight to the point. I've actually read the whole bit that I need to in the English section. And as I say, it was fairly straightforward. They obviously knew if they made it too long, I suppose people just wouldn't bother, and it was all right. But came to this section, which doesn't really make sense. And obviously the machine is supplied completely empty of fluids and what have you. And it talks about the gear housing must not be filled completely with grease. The grease expands as the machine heats up and during operation. If the gear housing was completely filled with grease, it could damage the seals and lead to leakage of grease. The grease in the travel gear does not normally need to be changed, except, well, anyway, sort of digressing there. So they give you this combination tool. You see it there. And I thought that because it comes with a tub of grease, or tube of grease, sorry, that I would need to do it. So I undone this to put the grease in, and I thought this was going to be difficult because, you know, you obviously don't want to overfill it like they say, but how much of that tube will go in there before it obviously, you know, comes up to where it shouldn't, or what I mean, that up to the thread. So anyway, took it off to do it, try and work it out. I don't know if this is going to work on camera. Let's see if I can get it. But basically, up to that thread there, there's grease already in it. They've done it. Now I would assume that contradicts what they say in the booklet there, because I wouldn't have gone put that much grease in if I was filling it myself. I'll see if I can show you, because I don't think it's coming out. Right, so I'll just put it in a little bit, and there you go. That's proof that the grease is right up to the thread almost. So don't know what the book's on about there, but obviously that was factory filled, so next time I fill it up, it's going up to that same point just before the thread that they did it. That's what I'm going to keep it up to anyway, I suppose, and if I'm wrong, I don't know. I can't find any other information about it, but just thought I'd point it out. So I'm going to fill it with fluids now, the 2-stroke, and give it its first start.
First up, I'm demonstrating the engine stop switch. I don't know which was the first company to come up with this design, whether it was Husqvarna or whether they copied it from someone else, but it's brilliant, simple, and does away with a load of hassle. The other thing that's really worth mentioning is its location on the handle. It is equally easy to use for both a right-handed or left-handed operator, or even an ambidextrous operator. It's brilliant, clever, and I love it. Next up is the throttle lock and the throttle control. The throttle lock is on the back of the handle, and you cannot use the throttle until you've grabbed the handle and disengaged the throttle lock. Once again, I don't know which was the first company to come out with the adjustable handle. I don't know whether it was Husqvarna or whether it was copied from someone else's design. I've seen it on lots of different hedge trimmers, all the way up to commercial and all the way down to budget hedge trimmers at my local DIY store. But I think it's one of those things that once you've used an adjustable handle hedge trimmer, you're not going to want to go back to a fixed handle. The Husqvarna has 5 different handles positions that it can go into, and you access them by simply pulling out the latch with your index finger, turning it to the desired position, and then letting the latch lock home. It's got a really clever design in that the throttle can't be operated until the latch is locked into one of the 5 positions. Because of the clever design and thought that's gone into producing this particular handle, it's worth pointing out again that it can be used by a left or right-handed operator equally the same. I thought that was real testament to the skill of the design team, and big kudos to them. It's really clever. This is the choke control. Just a simple manual operation, pull out for choke and push back in when not needed. This is the fuel tank. It holds 300 millilitres of 2-stroke mix. This is the air purge or primer bulb located under the choke control. Here I am taking off the filter cover and showing you the air filter inside. Husqvarna recommend that you clean the filter every 25 hours of use, or more regularly if it's dusty conditions, and that's in clean soapy water, and then you allow it to dry. So here I'm showing you the forward facing exhaust, obviously the point of that being that it directs the emissions and the gases away from the user, and also I'm showing here the muffler, which I found out is actually fitted with a catalytic converter. I was quite pleased to find that out. And there also is a spark arrestor mesh, and that's something that needs to be cleaned occasionally with a wire brush apparently. Moving on to the blade bars, which are 59 centimeters in length, which is 23¼ inches. The cutting speed, maximum RPM, is 4,050 cuts per minute. The opening between the teeth is 28 millimeters. However, they recommend that the maximum diameter twig is 20 millimeters. Pointing out, and something that I haven't seen before on another hedge trimmer, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, is that although it's double-sided reciprocating, it's not double-sided blades. So instead, on each side you have a row of blades and a row of blade guards, which are blunt. So unusual design, and I'm not sure what I think about that, because usually you have the blade guard separate and running along the top of the knife. Thought this would be worth showing, as a lot of people will probably discard this combi tool, put it away in a drawer somewhere, but this is one of its other uses, and probably to me its most important use. And if you are cutting away and you get a jam, I don't know, for whatever reason, there might be wire in the hedge, and you jam the blades, this is how you free it. You remove the lubrication plug, and then you stick the combi tool in there, and you can turn the blades back and forth, freeing any jam. It's worth, if you work for a living doing this kind of stuff, to keep this tool with you somewhere in the van, because it's quite handy for this reason. So I've got both the Husqvarna combi pole saw attachment and the combi hedge trimmer attachment, and the transport guards on those are afterthoughts compared to this one. It's obvious some real care has gone into this design. It goes on with a nice kind of clunk. Once on, is completely secure, will not accidentally come off, even if the hedge trimmer is turned upside down. But when you do need to take it off, it comes off with a kind of nice pop, and yeah, just looks the part. Some real thought has gone into it. As you can see, it has some mounting holes if you need to mount it to the side of your shed wall perhaps, or in your van. Yeah, and it's just a real nice touch that completes a hedge trimmer. I like it a lot.